Just Asia, AHRC TV's weekly human rights program. These are the headlines. Press freedom in Asia worsened significantly or stagnated, says report. Nepal, trampling on freedom of expression. Thai reporters told to watch themselves on Press Freedom Day. Pakistani journalists threatened with irregular repression and violence. Indian journalist threatened and driven out of conflict state Chhattisgarh. Sri Lanka's new government yet to take action on violence against journalists. Indonesian journalists given no protection by media laws. Welcome to AHRC TV's Just Asia. I am Julia Roblondo. This week's focus is World Press Freedom Day, marked annually on May 3rd, the anniversary of the Press Freedom Principles Declaration. The Windhoek Declaration marks its 25th anniversary this year, and 2016 is also the 250th anniversary of the world's first Freedom of Information law, covering modern-day Sweden and Finland. The focus of this year's World Press Freedom Day is the freedom of information as a fundamental right and a human right, protecting press freedom from censorship and surveillance overreach, and ensuring safety for online and offline journalism. This is particularly important given that every 5 days, one media professional is killed. Journalists are at risk in many Asian countries, facing either threats to their lives or legal repression. Most recently, a Bangladeshi editor was killed, while a senior Nepali journalist is facing detention on corruption charges. According to Reporters Without Borders' 2016 World Press Freedom Index, the media freedom situation has worsened significantly or stagnated in the region. The majority of Asian countries rank in the bottom 40 of the World Press Freedom Index. The decline affected Eastern Asia's democracies previously regarded as regional models, said the report. In Nepal, the eve of World Press Freedom Day saw the arrest of Robert Penner, a Canadian national working at an IT company in Nepal, for allegedly inciting disharmony and jeopardizing national integrity through social media. His employment visa was revoked, and Penner was ordered to leave the country within 2 days. The Nepalese constitution guarantees freedom of expression only to Nepalese, not to foreigners. It seems foreigners living and working in Nepal cannot raise issues of human rights violations or express their valid opinions. Nepal's government is trampling on the views of anyone dissenting from its own views, whether Nepali or foreigner. The country also needs to improve the working environment for journalists and address their safety concerns. Furthermore, while the National Information Commission was established in 2009 to oversee the implementation of the 2007 Right to Information Act, the implementation of this right remains next to zero. Just Asia caught up with Rajendra Maharjan, editor of e-Samata Online, to learn his opinion on the status of freedom of expression in Nepal.
संविधानले प्रेस स्वतन्त्रतालाई ग्यारेन्टी गर्ने र त्यो ग्यारेन्टी गरिएको भाव सञ्चार गर्नुपर्ने हो सरकारको रवैया हेर्दाखेरि संवैधानिक रूपमा जुन खालका ग्यारेन्टीहरू भएका छन् ती ग्यारेन्टीहरूलाई पनि छेकथुन गर्ने र अप्ठ्यारोमा पार्ने र धेरै ठाउँमा चाहिँ एक खालको दमनकारी अभ्यासहरू गर्न थालेको देखिन्छ। सरकार र अहिले सरकार चलाउने दलहरू र विपक्षीमा रहेका दलहरूको चाहिँ रवैया के देखिएको छ भन्दाखेरि संविधान सर्वोत्कृष्ट बनेको छ र त्यसलाई चाहिँ लागू गर्नको लागि बहिष्कृत समुदायहरूले चाहिँ अप्ठ्यारोमा पारिरहेको छ। त्यसको पक्षमा लिने लेख्नेहरूले या त्यसको पक्षमा सडकमा आउनेहरूले चाहिँ अप्ठ्यारोमा पारिरहेको छ भन्ने खालको मत सहित व्यवहार गरिरहेको छ। त्यो भनेको आलोचना नसहने, टिप्पणी नसहने या क्रिटिकली कसैले लेख्न खोजिरहेको छ भने त्यसलाई चाहिँ अस्वीकार गर्ने, त्यसलाई दमन गर्ने खालको रवैया देखिएको छ। त्यो भनेको जनतामा फेरि यो संविधानलाई स्वीकार्य बनाउने नाममा दमन या मुख थुन्ने, विपक्षीहरूको मुख थुन्ने, आलोचनात्मक व्यवहार राख्न खोज्नेहरूलाई चाहिँ थुन्ने र त्यसबाट चाहिँ शान्त स्थिति छ, यहाँ सुव्यवस्था छ, यहाँ संविधान राम्रोसँग लागू भइरहेछ भनेर देखाउने र अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय रूपमा त्यसलाई प्रदर्शन गर्ने कामहरू राज्यको र सरकारको र त्यो सरकारमा रहेका दलहरूको चाहिँ व्यवहार देखिएको छ। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि उसको व्यवहार कस्तो देखियो भन्दाखेरि कहीँ न कहीँ उसले त्यो विपक्ष या प्रतिपक्षतालाई चाहिँ उसले दमन गर्नुपर्ने आवश्यकता भइरहेछ। अहिलेको स्थिति त्यो हो र कतिसम्म मैले फिल गरिरहेको छु भन्दाखेरि जसले अहिलेको संविधान र सरकारको चाहिँ विचार व्यवहारको चाहिँ आलोचना गरिरहेछ उनीहरूले आफू कुनै पनि बेला दमनमा पर्ने हो कि भन्ने खालको एउटा डर, एउटा सफोकेसन, एउटा त्यो श्वास फेर्नै गाह्रो भएको अनुभूति गरिरहेछ र कुनै पनि बेला कहीँ इन्काउन्टर पर्ने हो कि भन्ने हदसम्मको डर पनि व्याप्त भएको देखिन्छ। विशेषमा केही वकिल साथीहरूसँग कुरा गर्दाखेरि, केही पत्रकारहरूसँग कुरा गर्दाखेरि, केही मानवाधिकारवादीहरूसँग कुरा गर्दाखेरि यो अभिव्यक्तिभित्र उनीहरूकोमा देखिन्छ र त्यो भनेको के भन्दाखेरि साँच्चै भन्ने हो भने लोकतन्त्र, त्यसपछि समावेशी लोकतन्त्र, त्यसपछि लोकतान्त्रिक गणतन्त्र जे भनिएको हो, यो आवरणमा जे भनिएको हो त्यसको लागि उचित काम चाहिँ पक्कै होइन हो।
Thailand, meanwhile, saw Prime Minister Prayuth Cha-o-cha tell senior reporter Yuwadee Thanyasiri to watch herself on Press Freedom Day after her statement, "Freedom of the press is freedom of the people." Yuwadee and the Thai Journalists Association tried to submit their Press Freedom Day statement directly to the Prime Minister, but were asked not to do so as it would encourage others to use the same method. The media asked the Prime Minister to revoke some of the junta's orders against media freedom. Within 2 years, Thailand's military junta has placed significant restrictions on freedom of speech and press. The junta has issued broad orders prohibiting criticism of its actions, closed numerous media outlets, blocked access to internet sites, and summoned members of the media for questioning and attitude adjustment. On 13 September 2015, the National Council for Peace and Order summoned and detained Prayuth Cha-o-cha, senior reporter of The Nation, at an undisclosed location for 2 days for posting alleged provocative and divisive messages on social media in violation of an agreement he had made with the NCPO after being detained in May 2014. Prayuth was released on September 15th after he signed a document agreeing not to be involved with or support anti-NCPO groups. Prayuth also resigned from his position at The Nation, where he worked for 23 years, reportedly under pressure from the newspaper's management. Pakistan ranks as the 4th most dangerous country in the world for journalists, according to an International Federation of Journalists report. Pakistan is rated not free in the Freedom of Press Index 2016, ranking 147th out of 195 countries and territories worldwide. According to the report, journalists in Pakistan experience official attempts to restrict critical reporting as well as high levels of violence from both state and non-state actors. The Constitution and certain legislations authorize the government to curb freedom of speech on subjects that include the Constitution itself, the armed forces, the judiciary, and the religion. Harsh blasphemy laws have occasionally been used to suppress the media. While 2010 saw the right to information inserted into the Constitution, most provincial laws enacted like the army, judiciary, and other important departments of the state. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa is the only province with an effective information law. The lack of access to information jeopardizes transparency. Pakistan returned to the notorious practice of press advice in 2015 with regulatory authorities for both print and electronic media advising the free press to avoid criticizing the establishment. Journalists in the country continue to face threats, attacks, and killings by state as well as non-state actors. The state's failure in prosecuting those responsible leads to a culture of impunity. 2016 began with many unfortunate incidents. The office of a TV channel at Islamabad was attacked with explosives. In February, supporters of the killer of Punjab Governor Salman Taseer attacked the Hyderabad Press Club and the Karachi Press Club. One editor-in-chief of the Jang Group, Pakistan's largest conglomerate of newspapers, was booked in more than 135 FIRs in all 4 provinces under baseless blasphemy charges in the last 2 years. Moving to India, Urmila Pulat speaks to journalist Malina Subramaniam of the news website Scroll.in to get her views on press freedom in the country. Ms. Subramaniam has worked in one of the most sensitive and challenging parts of the India, violence-affected Chhattisgarh, reporting on human rights abuses in the region.
So do you feel this new media is really filling a very much needed gap?
The necessary, yeah. Social media, the circulation that happens in the social media, that helped a lot.
Yeah.
And also, for example, it's not that there are no national dailies in Raipur, no? Representative national dailies, they're in Raipur. So you have an Indian Express and a Times of India and a Hindustan Times in Raipur.
Yeah.
But the thing is that matters happen in a small place down South Bastar. And since I was based in Jagdalpur, it was easier for me to reach. And so, which is why I could capture the news not as much. I mean, in the last 1 year that the reporting that I did, what I felt is that I could only pick up a few cases of what was happening, and much more news. And I was finding it extremely difficult to keep running to these news and piecing it together and putting it together. Sometimes it would only be a couple of paragraphs news. Then I would say, okay, and already something else has happened. So by the time you collected, something major has happened. The local media was completely controlled by the government, and the police had actually issued that only press handouts will be reported. That was again the problem for them, that when I would go to the police thana to gather news and to take their version, they would say, you want news, we are giving you news, just report this up. And they would say that, why are you going to the village? And going to the village to ask their version means, in their version, you are meeting the mouse. So this is how they would sort of describe the whole pattern of news gathering.
Yeah.
So if you are not taking the police version of this, and if you're going to the villages to actually find out what's happening,
then you're marked.
You're immediately marked. You're going to the villages, and how come you're going, etc.
So how have you dealt with the fallout now after you had to leave Bastar?
It's been difficult, honestly. Yeah. What the police did is that villagers finally found that it is possible to tell people, look, this is happening to us. They have just, like for example, as regards surrenders were concerned, I started getting information right from when the people would be rounded up. They would call up to say 90 people rounded up.
Yeah.
Then they would say, okay, 5 have been released. Then by evening, another 7 released. Now 70. Now 60 have been taken away to another thana. So this is the kind of thing that you keep waiting for it to, okay, you gather and you mobilize yourself to go over to those places. But now even that information is stopped because a few people called up to say that, Didi, we are very sorry, but we've been asked not to be in touch with you.
Although Sri Lanka has moved up 24 positions in the World Press Freedom Index released by Reporters Without Borders, it is still lowly ranked at 141 out of 180 countries. Despite promises of good governance and media freedom by the new government, so far no serious investigations have been conducted into the abductions, harassment, and killings of several journalists that took place during the past regime. The disappearance of cartoonist Prageet Eknilogoda in 2010, the killing of journalist Shivaram in 2005, the attack on the Sirasa Media House in Depanama in 2009, the killing of senior journalist Lasantha Wikramatunga also in 2009, the attack on the Udayan office in Jaffna. There were a total of 33 attacks on the Udayan offices to date. The attack on Siyata in 2010, and most recently, the blatant attack on the associate editor of Sunday Leader, Mandana Ismail Abe Wikrema, forcing her to leave the country, are some of the horrific incidents, none of which have yet been duly investigated. Even after more than a year of coming into power, the new government's assurances to appoint a presidential commission to investigate such attacks on journalists and media has not materialized. Indonesia has seen a significant improvement in press freedom since President Suharto stepped down in 1998. New laws on print and broadcasting saw the end of government domination of the media. A constitutional amendment regarding the right to freedom of information and communication further strengthened media reform. None of these laws, however, serve to protect journalists. According to the Independent Journalist Alliance, 50 cases of murder, violence, intimidation, and forced dissolution of events organized by journalists annually over the past 10 years, 500 cases in 10 years. This does not include the cases of violence and fabricated charges relating to the 2008 law on electronic transaction. Some 134 journalists have been charged with this law, said the Press Legal Aid. The journalists also subjected by the law number 44 of 2008 on the pornography, where the law charged the journalist more than 10 years for the publication which contains pornography.
Menunjukkan hasil positif atau hasil yang signifikan karena ancaman kebebasan pers itu masih terus terjadi dengan salah satu indikasi teman-teman di AHRC umpamanya ada 8 kasus pembunuhan jurnalis di Indonesia yang belum tuntas hingga saat ini. Nah, sedangkan kami di Aliansi Jurnalis Independen Jakarta itu menilai dari catatan sepanjang tahun 2015 saja hingga di April 2016 ada 4 kasus ancaman kebebasan pers baik di pers mainstream maupun pers mahasiswa, sehingga kami kira hal tersebut menjadi ancaman besar di mana Yogyakarta yang selalu diklaim sebagai city of tolerance atau kota yang bertoleransi, kota yang berarti nyaman, namun tidak menutup kemungkinan juga beraja dari apa yang terjadi di AHRC hari ini dan hari kemarin lebih tepatnya ketika peringatan Hari Kebebasan Pers Internasional, di mana acara tersebut dibubarkan oleh pihak TNI, Ormas, dalam hal ini FKPPI, PAKI, dan juga dibubarkan oleh polisi. Sehingga di Yogyakarta saat ini selain ancaman kebebasan pers yang bisa dibilang sangat darurat, namun toleransi di Yogyakarta juga sangat darurat.
LBH Pers dalam rangka World Press Freedom Day mengeluarkan rilis terkait kondisi kebebasan pers di Indonesia dengan mengangkat tema pers Indonesia diambang kriminalisasi dan konglomerasi. Mengapa kita mengambil tema itu? Karena pertama memang kita lihat bahwa dari segi kekerasan semenjak 2015 sampai akhir bulan ini itu tercatat sekitar kurang lebih 50 kasus terkait kekerasan terhadap jurnalis. Kemudian selain itu juga ada kasus pembunuhan terhadap jurnalis. Ada 9 kasus pembunuhan dari 1999 sampai 2011 yang itu belum dituntaskan, dan Dewan Pers terpilih itu menjanjikan bahwa akan menyelesaikan kasus-kasus yang pembunuhan itu sebelum Indonesia menjadi tuan rumah tahun depan World Press Freedom Day.
That is all for this episode of Just Asia. For more on these and other issues, please visit www.humanrights.asia or www.ahlrc.asia/Just Asia. Thank you for watching and see you next week.